Hey. Yeah, we coming in. We coming in crazy. We coming in crazy. How you guys doing? I'm trying to get to the State of the Union. just to see the highlight coverage of it and stuff like that. So forgive me from, you know, showing nothing on the screen. Uh, in the midst of a commercial. These things always kind of got their bad commercials. Trying to get to C-SPAN. How you guys doing? I wanted to not so much do an episode. We'll kind of cover Trump's State of the Union in detail afterwards because they said he said he's gonna do the longest speech he ever did. So let's see. And I want to see the C-SPAN coverage because obviously that's free for the free access, you know what I mean? So let's see. Okay. That looks good. Okay, sorry about that. So we'll watch as Trump comes out and everything like that. So we'll watch the coverage. Whew. Excuse me for my yarning. I always come in and I'm yarning. So, because by the time I get to you guys, I had a long day. How you guys doing? My name is Daris D. McKinney. This is Individual Perspective Podcast. And we're bringing another one to you. We're bringing it to you. I tell you one thing. It's hard to discuss America now, because obviously, I get it now. The best thing you could do as an individual American citizen is to live your life, get as much enjoyment out of it as possible, level up yourself or get some kind of growth out of your life, attack your goals, attack your hobbies, whatever you're doing, just live a life that's fulfilling for you. You know what I mean? And that's the most you're going to get from the country because even though we're the best country in the world, even under the situation that we have where we are losing our freedoms every single day, we're still better than most countries. You know what I mean? And this is my view tonight at the State of the Union from the Republican side of the aisle. I don't know what he showed, but I guess, okay, that's what, so Thomas Massey is like, he's the Epstein guy that did whatever it took to get the Epstein files released and everything. And it's okay. I want the Epstein files released too, but I want them to be objective and put context to what was there. And I have to spend March walking you guys through Epstein. I'm doing so much studying on it. I'm doing so much digging into it. And a lot of the stuff that you're going to be seeing, we're going to kind of vet it together and stuff like that. And I'll be bringing in people to kind of talk to me on podcastings and lawyers and all that stuff like that. But everybody got... It's the Epstein situation is such an enigma and it's such a vital thing to our country because it shows you like when people let their biases overtake how to read a document, how to read what actually is the facts, and don't go into your own narrative, don't go into your own perceptions when the facts and the data is right there written on paper. And it's just like to walk you guys through an objective, truthful structure of the Epstein files. You're going to get three things. You're going to find out that the people that you trust are untrustworthy because they've compromised themselves to their ideology, to their own point of view. Two, you're going to find out how corrupt our world is. And the powers that be is, and our government is overwhelmingly corrupt. and 3, you'll find out how our prosecutors, our judicial systems, our defense attorneys, our media, they have failed us to make sure that they respect our rights and fight for our dignity and our trust, our truth. So I'm not going to get into so much of that, but that's just when Thomas Massey came up on the screen. I just had to say that, you know. It's hard to explain to you guys like what the State of the Union is, because it's for the president to pretty much it's like a job review. So it's like the president is giving his job. We are getting the president's job review. He's coming before us, and he has to tell us what his value is. You know what I mean? What has he done? And what Trump done to this country is repair the damage that Ronald Reagan did, the damage that George W. Bush did, and the damage that Tea Party and a lot of conservatives and libertarians did to the country. You can't really blame the liberals for what they did, because they did pretty much what liberals do. You know, this is, you know what I mean? You can't fault them for doing causes to destroy the Constitution when they don't believe in the Constitution and they think that it needs to be corrected. So you can't fault them for that, because that's what their ideology is. They didn't really go against what their policies were. You always know what their policies was. But Republicans, conservative Christians, a lot of them say one thing, but what they actually do with their action is to help destroy the country and pretty much give a validity and validation to the Democrat Party. And you really can't give a validation to them. They're animals. They're disrespectful to the Constitution. They're disrespectful to individual rights. And it's just like, there's no tolerate. You get what I'm saying? At me as a black man, I'm even seeing like Democrats and liberals' ideology or their point of view to replace white people with Hispanics and different foreigners and stuff like that. Is that the best for our country? I mean, like to like make the white people a minority. Like you, and then we say like, yeah, that's what we want. Well, you had it for about 40 years now. A lot of big white people they've been like moving away from all the. If you want the cities, they've been giving you the cities. If you want the power, they've been giving you the power, and they've been staying away from it. And look how our country is. It's degenerate. It's demoralizing. It's economically not stable. There's no respect in our country, and we're living on the last threshold before this country gets destroyed. I said it in 2015. Trump is fighting for a country that's dead. It's dead. Not like how do you have like 4 GM Chrysler workers fighting Trump, and all their jobs was going to Mexico and Canada? That's how if Kamala got elected, all that stuff would have kept going over to Canada. They would have moved the last few factories over to Canada and Mexico. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, that don't even make sense. And that should be easy for the like automotive industry to understand. And not only the automotive industry, everybody in Michigan, everybody in Indiana, everybody in Ohio. They should absolutely understand that. It shouldn't be where you gotta watch the news, or you gotta listen to some other commentary, or you gotta listen to politicians tell you. You should know it yourself, and that's not enough for them to not go against their own best interests, and they fight for the ideology. It take me all day to explain to you guys why you guys got it wrong with the Epstein files and Trump. So I don't even want to talk about that. You get what I'm saying? It takes me all day to walk you through his history. 1978 to 2026. It takes me forever. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be very objective. I'm gonna be honest with you and truthful to you. And I'm gonna criticize myself and everybody else if I don't live up to scrutiny. I will. I never say anything out my mouth that I'm gonna come back to and cut my, you got a lot of podcasters. They cutting stuff that they said in podcasts and in shows that they have. They put it in private because when they come online and they open their mouth and they can't stand behind what the hell they saying. You still have to respect the forum, even if it's millions and millions of people doing podcasts. You still need to respect the forum as if it's true guiding journalism. You have to do that. I would never retract on anything that I say, anything that I report. Okay? So just even the tariffs, how we against Trump on the tariffs, and every single country before 2025 put tariffs on us for 40, 50 years. Like we couldn't sell Ford cars or Chrysler cars or any of our actual products in other countries. They would tax us for it. You know what I'm saying? We have a meat industry in America that we send all our meat outside the country to get packaged, and we send it, and it gets back into our country, and it actually gives the power to Brazil and other countries to validate our finances on our meat, and we grew our meat. And why are we taking meat from other countries when we got plenty of livestock and plenty of farming here? Why are we selling our farms to China? Why are we selling real estate to China and Thailand? China and India. Why are we doing that? Why we have other countries that own land in our country? We hoard ourselves out. This is what Trump been fighting for the last year. Now he fighting the Supreme Court, Republicans. Excuse me for my hiccup. He fighting Republicans, because judges, all this stuff, because our country not even ran by the president and the Congress. It's ran by the Supreme Court. Because if a president does something that he's lawfully is able to do, it's taken to the Supreme Court and sued. He's sued, and everybody takes him to the Supreme Court to validate things that is already written that he's validated on. So now, based upon what the Supreme Court says, a law that the president has gets changed. The executive branch gets changed because of what modern perception is. So it's just terrible. You get what I'm saying? So we got a dead country, and we're gonna see what this State of the Union is and what he says and stuff like that. I do believe that, I know Trump doesn't want to let the Epstein files kind of be the narrative of his presidency, but that it is. It's the Russia probe. Just like how the Russia probe was for his first term, people are judging him on the Epstein. So to not have any kind of fight back or confrontation with it, or or kind of giving a clarity on yourself and how you feel about it and what's the truth of the matter and how corrupt people are, and you do not believe all women. You don't do that. When you guys see everything, you just can't do that. Just think of, you had a son and he was in a situation like that where he was getting accused, but he didn't do anything. But just because his popularity and everything, he's getting accused because you can't really find out if he did it or not, but the allegations alone destroys you. So this is ridiculous. And they say they got Epstein victims in the audience. Court of law, for the actual record of law, technically, lawfully, none of them are victims. None of them are victims. You get what I'm saying? So it was two girls that were in 2008 that they were victims because because they said that they were victims, or they said that they were servicing Epstein, and that's what he actually went to jail for, and that they prosecuted him for. But the girls actually, when they had questioned them, and they went on record, when they actually, all the time that they talked to the cops, every time they talked to the investigators, they said that they lied about their age, and that would made it where they couldn't really slap him with the book. But those were actually two victims, but they lied about their age. And that's what put him in a situation where they were kind of making him almost give himself a conviction and give himself time. I know that sounds crazy, y'all. That's the truth of the matter. That's what the documents say. If you're reading the Epstein files, it's in the documents. You can't only read like all the people making comments and people making allegations and people filing lawsuits, or people kind of putting like testimony to the FBI, because that can't be corroborated. It has no factual evidence to it. It has no flight logs to it. It's not accurate. All you can read is the actual stuff that got prosecuted, that got investigated, and all that stuff. And then that's the stuff that they have in 2008. And they because of they had to release all Epstein files. They had to get the grand jury and case logs in New York and in Florida. So when you read those documents and you read when he got arrested in 2008, you read the testimony of the girls that he got prosecuted for, the two girls that he got prosecuted for, they were underage, 17 and something like that. And they was prosecuted, and I'm not gonna say everything until we're reading the files, but they gave their testimony, and they said that they said they lied about their age. Okay, now it's not me saying it. That's what they said. So, but still, he messed around with some underage girls. No matter if they lied, it was for him to know better to do that and check their licenses or whatever. But he didn't do that, so that's why he got prosecuted, and he deserved it. All the other crazy stuff that he probably did, and he might have did it. But if I go through the files with you guys, we're going to walk through everything, and then we're going to have an objective analysis on if it's true or not. I just wanted to kind of show you guys this State of the Union as is getting started, and Trump got into the car, and he's arriving at the actual Capitol building. So I'm gonna let you guys kind of go to your TVs and watch it and everything like that, and observe what's going on and stuff like that. I just wanted to come in and give you just a preamble thing to say. I know I'm all over the place with it, but it's, in a way, it's such a mind fucked thing about how to talk to the American people about our country when we have CIA propaganda in the midst of how we talk to each other. How we talk to each other. It's tactics and it's propaganda in the middle of us. It's in the middle of how we talk to each other. And it's CIA tactics that we use in other countries to overthrow governments and stuff. And we did, like 12 years ago, we did it to our own country. So it's kind of hard to talk to each other when that's what's leading, if we telling the truth or not, if you could trust me or not, if I'm an Uncle Tom or not, or if I'm a Trump supporter or not. It's like you don't get any validity of conversation because there's so much propaganda in between how we communicate with each other. So I gotta have facts, I gotta have evidence, I gotta have hardcore stuff to cut to and show you guys and walk you through in order for me to have validation to how I talk to you. But look, I'm gonna let you guys watch the State of the Union. and this is a preamble. I'm just kind of giving you my just a verbose rant conversation about how I feel about this country and everything that's going on. It's sad. It's really sad, but at the same time, I got goals. I got things I'm accomplishing and stuff, and sometimes I just go deep into that because it's like going on do a podcast and not being able to say what you want to say, and then you got to hold back until you can properly piece things together. But hopefully, you know, I'm gonna be very active on my podcast, so hopefully you guys see what we're doing, and I'll see you guys on the next one, and hopefully everything works out. Check you out.